Have you ever wondered about the powerful effects of peptides, particularly BPC-157? Welcome to the fascinating world of synthetic peptides. Today, we're focusing on BPC-157, a peptide composed of a chain of 15 amino acids. Notably, it's stable in stomach acid, making it a particularly intriguing compound to study. BPC-157 is the subject of numerous investigations due to its potential regenerative effects. Much of this research, however, is conducted on rats following either toxic or surgical trauma. These studies have shown promising results, with BPC-157 enhancing recovery and healing. Yet it's important to note that there's limited evidence of these benefits translating directly to humans. The intricacies of its workings in the human body are still being explored. One of the key aspects of BPC-157 is its synthetic nature. Unlike naturally occurring peptides in the body, BPC-157 is made in a lab. This doesn't diminish its potential impact, though. In fact, it's this synthetic creation that enables researchers to manipulate and study the peptide's effects in ways that would not be possible with natural peptides. When we talk about BPC-157, we're discussing a peptide that's stable in stomach acid. This means it can survive the harsh environment of the stomach, opening up possibilities for oral ingestion and its potential effects on the gastrointestinal system. This stability also raises intriguing questions about how BPC-157 may be metabolized in the body and how it could interact with other compounds. Finally, it's worth noting that while the regenerative effects of BPC-157 are promising, much of the research conducted so far has been in the context of rat studies. While these studies provide valuable insights, they don't directly translate to humans. As such, further research is needed to fully understand the potential benefits and risks of BPC-157 in human subjects. Now that we've set the stage, let's delve into the specific features of BPC-157. Firstly, one of the key features of BPC-157 is its role in angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is a fundamental process in the body where new blood vessels form from pre-existing ones. It's a vital player in the body's healing process, allowing for the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to damaged tissues. Now let's talk about how BPC-157 factors into this. BPC-157, a synthetic peptide made up of 15 amino acids, has been found to enhance angiogenesis. This means it aids in the production of new blood vessels, thereby boosting the body's natural healing process. It's like a construction manager at a building site, ensuring that the necessary materials get to where they're needed. But how does BPC-157 do this? It's all down to a pathway called the VEGFR-2-ACT-ENOS pathway. Without getting too technical, this pathway is like a relay race. VEGFR-2 receives the baton, or in this case a signal, and passes it on to ACT, who then hands it off to ENOS. And it's ENOS that crosses the finish line, triggering the production of new blood vessels. It's important to note that this is a simplified explanation. The actual process is a complex dance of biochemical reactions, intricately choreographed and precisely timed. But at its heart, it's all about communication and teamwork. And BPC-157 is like the coach, guiding and encouraging the team to work together and achieve their goal. What's fascinating is that BPC-157 is stable in stomach acid. This means it can potentially be taken orally, though more research is needed to fully understand the implications of this. It's also metabolized in plasma, which is a component of our blood, hinting at its systemic effects. As you can see, BPC-157 plays a significant role in angiogenesis, but that's not all it does. Another fascinating aspect of BPC-157 is its ability to stimulate the growth factor EGR1. Now, what is EGR1, you might ask? EGR1, also known as early growth response protein 1, is a protein encoded by the EGR1 gene in humans. It's an essential player in several cellular processes, including cell growth, differentiation, and apoptosis, which is a type of programmed cell death. This protein is like the conductor of a symphony, directing the orchestra of our cells to play in harmony and achieve optimal cellular function. Now, how does BPC-157 come into play here? This synthetic peptide, made up of 15 amino acids, can stimulate the mRNA of EGR1. mRNA, or messenger RNA, acts as a template for protein synthesis. It carries the instructions from the DNA in the cell's nucleus to the ribosome, the cell's protein-making factory. So, in essence, BPC-157 can boost the production of the EGR1 protein. But why is this important? Well, by enhancing EGR1 production, BPC-157 may potentially impact numerous cellular processes. It could promote cell growth, influence cell differentiation, and manage apoptosis. This could, in theory, lead to enhanced tissue repair and regeneration, which is why BPC-157 is often touted for its potential regenerative effects. While the mechanisms behind these effects are still being investigated, the fact that BPC-157 can stimulate such a crucial growth factor adds another layer to its intriguing profile. It is important to note, however, that most of this information comes from studies conducted on rats, and further research is needed to fully understand the implications for human health. So far, we've seen BPC-157's involvement in angiogenesis and growth factor stimulation. Now let's look at its role in neurology. BPC-157 also has some intriguing effects in the field of neurology. When it comes to the intricate workings of the brain, this synthetic peptide has shown some potential to influence neurotransmission, specifically the dopaminergic and serotonergic systems. When we talk about dopaminergic neurotransmission, we're referring to the pathway of dopamine, a key neurotransmitter that plays a vital role in our mood, motivation, and reward responses. Similarly, serotonergic neurotransmission relates to serotonin, another neurotransmitter that's often associated with feelings of well-being and happiness. Now, what's fascinating is that BPC-157 seems to have some influence on these neurotransmission pathways. However, it's important to note that the exact mechanisms through which it operates are still not entirely clear. Scientists are working tirelessly to unravel this mystery, and with each new finding, we edge closer to understanding the full potential of BPC-157 in neurology. But the neurological benefits of BPC-157 don't just stop at neurotransmission. This peptide has also shown neuroprotective effects in experimental models. In studies involving rats with brain damage, BPC-157 demonstrated the ability to provide some level of protection to the brain, and there's more. BPC-157 may also have potential benefits in the realm of mental health. Depression, a condition that affects millions worldwide, could potentially be influenced by this peptide. While the evidence is not yet strong enough to make a definitive statement, the possibility that BPC-157 could contribute to improving mental health outcomes is an exciting prospect. From angiogenesis to neurology, BPC-157's capabilities are indeed broad. But how does it fare in the context of injuries? As we delve further into the world of BPC-157, we'll explore this question and many others. So stay tuned as we continue to uncover the fascinating properties of this synthetic peptide. Perhaps one of the most highlighted features of BPC-157 is its potential efficacy in treating injuries. This synthetic peptide, a chain of 15 amino acids, has shown some impressive results in laboratory settings, particularly in studies involving rats. In these studies, rats with toxic or surgical trauma were administered BPC-157. The results? A marked acceleration in the healing process. This has been attributed to the peptide's ability to stimulate angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, and activate specific pathways such as the VEGFR2-ACT-ENOS pathway. By doing so, BPC-157 facilitates the delivery of essential nutrients and oxygen to the injured tissues, thereby promoting faster recovery. More than just aiding in physical healing, BPC-157 has also been observed to exhibit potential neuroprotective effects. In studies involving rats with brain damage, the peptide has shown to significantly reduce the extent of the damage. This, coupled with its influence on neurotransmission, suggests that BPC-157 could also aid in the recovery from neurological injuries. However, it's important to temper these exciting findings with a degree of caution. As promising as these results are, they are, at this stage, largely confined to rat studies. The evidence of BPC-157's benefits in humans is still limited. This is not to discount the peptide's potential, but rather to highlight the need for further research to fully understand its capabilities and limitations. In the world of medicine and health, the journey from laboratory to bedside is often a long one, filled with rigorous testing and scrutiny. But it is precisely this process that ensures the safety and efficacy of the treatments we rely on. As such, the journey of BPC-157 is far from over. While more research is needed, the potential of BPC-157 in injury treatment is promising. Finally, let's explore how BPC-157 is metabolized and its effects when orally ingested. Notably, BPC-157 is a synthetic peptide, a string of 15 amino acids. But what happens when it enters the body? The answer is a little complex, but let's break it down. First, we need to understand that BPC-157 is metabolized in plasma. Plasma is the liquid portion of our blood, carrying cells and platelets throughout our body. When BPC-157 enters the plasma, it undergoes a process of biotransformation. This is where the body breaks down and converts the peptide into different compounds that can be used or excreted by the body. Now, you might wonder, what happens if BPC-157 is ingested orally? Well, this is where things get a bit more interesting. BPC-157 is stable in stomach acid, meaning it isn't broken down and remains intact when swallowed. However, the effects of BPC-157 when orally ingested are still a mystery. Current research has yet to fully unravel how it behaves and what impact it has on the body when taken this way. What we do know is that BPC-157, whether injected or ingested, has shown promising results in certain areas. It's been found to increase angiogenesis, stimulate growth factors, and even show potential neuroprotective effects. However, more research is needed to fully understand its action and potential benefits when orally ingested. In conclusion, the metabolism of BPC-157 is a fascinating process, a testament to its complex nature. It's a peptide that continues to intrigue scientists and health enthusiasts alike, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of peptides and their potential applications. It's clear that BPC-157 is a complex peptide with a wide range of effects. In this video, we've taken a comprehensive look at the peptide BPC-157. We've seen how this synthetic peptide, composed of 15 amino acids, demonstrates promising regenerative properties. Its ability to stimulate angiogenesis, or blood vessel production, is a vital mechanism in wound healing and recovery. We've also explored the peptide's role in stimulating the growth factor, EGR1, a crucial player in the body's healing and growth processes. In the realm of neurology, BPC-157 has shown potential in influencing dopaminergic and serotonergic neurotransmission, although the mechanisms remain somewhat elusive. We've delved into its promising effects on injury healing, particularly in cases of toxic or surgical trauma. Finally, we discussed how BPC-157 is metabolized in plasma, with its effects when orally ingested still a subject of study. While the research is still ongoing, the potential of BPC-157 is certainly intriguing. Thank you for joining this exploration into the world of peptides.